Catalonia's deposed president says Madrid's decision to sack the regional government does go against the will of the people that was expressed during the referendum. That came in his first statement since the Spanish Prime Minister put his deputy in charge of the Catalan government. A regional election has now been called for late December. Madrid seized control as Catalan leaders finally proclaimed independence.
Today in Parliament, the parliament of our country, a legitimate parliament took a largely expected step and largely fought for step. Citizens of Catalonia, there comes a time when it is up to all of us to maintain the pulse of our country, our peace, our civic duty and dignity, as we have always done and always will, without any doubt.
We decided to sack the president, vice president and other high-ranking officials in the Catalan government.
Well, rallies in support of the country's unity do continue this Saturday. Hundreds have gathered in one of Madrid's squares holding national flags. And at the same time, in Catalonia, a pro-independence syndicate is calling for a 10-day general strike starting on Monday. RT's Charlotte Dubinsky has been following events in the Catalan capital.
The Spanish government in Madrid says it has now taken full control of Catalonia. It says it has dismissed the Catalonian government as well as high-ranking officials and the president, Carlos Puigdemont. Now, it also says it has dismissed some senior police officers, including the chief of the police force in Catalonia, the Mossos Esquadra, who is already under investigation for sedition. Now, in addition to that, these pronouncements by the government in Madrid just came hours after the Catalan Parliament actually voted for independence and declared independent Catalonia a republic here. Now, I was in a crowd of pro-independence supporters surrounding the Parliament. The National Guard suggested there were up to 12,000 people there, and it really was like a sea of people. They screamed in delight, yes, 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 or sí, sí, sí in Catalan and Spanish when they heard that result. And we spoke to some people. This is what they told us.
They are cutting our liberty, our freedom. We're just a country. We feel like a country. We feel like we're representing our government. We need to be free. Is what our population wants.
I think that the Catalan people is pacific, but we have it clear that we are a nation, and so we will go on.
When people is trying just to explain their opinions and someone is trying to punish that and trying to use the violence to stop that, it's all about human being. I feel kind of scared.
Well, Spain says that the powers of Catalonia will now be exercised by the Spanish vice president, but the pro-independence supporters I've spoken to here in Barcelona say they will not recognise the authority in Spain. As far as they're concerned, they have now seceded from Spain, and this is an independent republic. Indeed, that is something that remains to be said, because Madrid says that within the legal framework of the Spanish constitution, its ability to take control of what it sees as being a Spanish region is legal, and it is very likely that if this goes to the courts will side with the Spanish government on this one. So in just less than a day since Catalonia declared independence, it's not yet clear whether they will be able to retain that independence at all. I understand that some of the pro-independence lobby are actually trying to draft a document which they're hoping to release within 48 hours, which will show how they plan to secede from Spain, but it's not clear if they will be able to implement that. What is clear, though, is that this crisis is ever deepening, and this remains a highly divisive issue in this society.
That was Charlotte Dubinsky. Well, we discussed the crisis in Spain with a political commentator and also a former Catalan MP, and they did have very different views on what's happened.
What they are trying to do is to demolish our regional government, our institutions, our parliament, and take control even of our social movements.
The problem right now is the nationalist movement, the independent movement, is living in a parallel world, in another world, because the half of the people in the region they want to remain in Spain.
You can't say that this is undemocratic to listen the voice of the people, and what we have been trying to do here in Catalonia is always giving the possibility
like you
that
know,
people,
it's not the majority.
Yes, the point is that you don't want people to express their opinion, and what we've been trying to do since 2 years ago is to find a possibility for the Catalan society to express, and this was done the 1st of October.
The business until this movement, until this terrible time, were growing up.
This is not a question of business.
Getting out
this is a
of
question
the crisis.
of democracy.
And right now,
sorry, but this is not a question of companies and business. What you have in Madrid. This is a question of democracy, and you should listen what people, what Catalan people, do they want for the future.
Anybody in the international sphere is going to give a recognition to this state. Right now, the Spanish government is working to restore the constitutional order in the region, and we have to protect the half of the Catalans that they want to keep their rights, they want to remain Spanish.
Yes, it's very sad, Ruben, that you are just saying that you want to save 50% of Catalan society. You should care about 100% of Catalan society and not using violence at all.
Well, hitting the headlines today has been the broader reaction from around the world. There's been overwhelming support for Madrid and warnings about similar independence pushes in the European Union. And Sir Chalkiner looks at who is and who isn't backing a united Spain.
There's plenty of reaction coming in, given these major developments happening in Catalonia, albeit with very few surprises. We have heard from the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, who has said that nothing changes and that the EU will continue to speak directly with Madrid. We've seen reaction from Germany, of course. The German government said they do not recognize this unilateral declaration of independence. We've heard from, of course, the French President also showing his support and full support to the Spanish Prime Minister, Mariano Rajoy. Here in the UK, of course, also plenty of reaction. We've heard from Downing Street saying it does not and will not recognize the unilateral declaration of independence because this vote, the referendum on October 1st, was deemed illegal by Spanish courts. That was a reaction from Theresa May. But from Scotland's Nicola Sturgeon, we have seen a reaction of saying the people of Catalonia should have the ability to determine their own future. So supporting what has happened in Catalonia, given Scotland's own sort of plight when it comes to this issue. We've heard from the US as well. The US State Department has said they support keeping strong and united Spain together. Also similarly from NATO. So as all of these reactions are continuing to come in, it's important to really remember that despite the fact that political leaders throughout the European Union have consistently said they don't want Catalonia to break away from Spain, to really keep the European Union intact, the pro-independence movement in Catalonia has repeatedly said that despite the fact that they want to leave Spain, they don't necessarily want to leave the European Union, whereas throughout the EU we've heard them say that if Catalonia does in fact leave Spain, they're going to have to essentially get at the back of the line to get back into the European Union.
We also spoke with the UK Independence Party MEP David Coburn, and he believes the push for independence does stem from a loss of power to Brussels.
I know from chatting with President Juncker, I spoke with a couple of weeks ago, the European Union have no intention of interfering in Spanish affairs, internal affairs. I think they've now got the idea, with the problems now taking part in Spain, that maybe it's a good idea if they actually keep out of internal affairs of the various countries. Because this is just the first of many other countries in Europe who have problems with the central administration. Spain doesn't govern itself anymore, it's governed by the European Union. Decisions are no longer made in Madrid, they're made in Brussels. Maybe it's the European Union has brought this to a head. And it's not just Spain. You get the same problems with the Basques, the Flamands in Belgium, various parts of Europe. There are problems. People want to secede because people don't want to be ruled by a faceless bureaucracy in Brussels. They want to make their own decisions locally and then have a national government as well. And Catalonia is one of the richest parts of Spain, so that's why they're feeling very upset.
You're watching RT, and of course we will be keeping a close eye on developments in Spain throughout the day.